Good evening, one and all. My name is Tony Bennett Ferns, and welcome to Battle of the Axe Culture Night 2022. And I'm going straight up with our first act, Declan Rooney.
I walk the walk, I talk the talk, but I also talk the shit as well. There's a great President Obama. Sounds good, looks good. But there's great ways. President Clinton, we had high hopes and brave hearts. The massive numbers. This virus will become the end of a beginning, of a new beginning. I just think this is real. I think this virus is real. Somebody just moved the table right there. That's how real I am.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, okay? I'm coming back. The boyfriend's back, and then bang, bang. Donald's back, the doll, okay? We're coming back into town in 2024, okay?
I'm coming back. I'm coming back. I'm coming back here. There's a hard walk. JFK Uber.
Moving swiftly along, back home from Australia, from Artane in Dublin, the one and only Lisa Caulfield, otherwise known as Fieldsy. Give it for her, Fieldsy. Welcome home, Lisa.
Tying up all of those loose ends, I'm carrying the weight of her pride and her defense. I've piloted this turbulence. The smoke that rises makes you choke. That cry from fearless folk, that prison wall she broke. And there's a blue moon dancing around her silhouette, and there's a hope that comes from every single regret, and there's a place for every single one that we've met, and there's you. And you, Backbeat, better if you know how to turn it around. And loose feet, stay on your shoes, stepping on unknown ground. Break down the traditions, the familiar sounds, and bring loud to the entity that no one has found. And I'm tying up all of those who sends. I'm carrying the weight of her, fighting her defense. I've piloted this turbulence, the smoke that rises makes you choke. That cry from fearless folk, that prison wall she broke. And there's a blue moon dancing around her silhouette, and there's a hope that comes from every single regret, and there's a place for every single one that we've met, and there's you, and there's you, and there's you. Ooh, hey, and you, you. There she goes, counting sheep in the dark. One eye closed, but two worlds apart. Fight or fly, screaming out for a sign. Waiting for stars to align. And I'm tying up all of those loose ends. I'm carrying the weight of her pride in her defense. I've piloted this turbulence. The smoke that rises makes you choke. That cry from fearless folk, that prison wall she broke. And there's a blue moon dancing around her silhouette, and there's a hope that comes from every single regret, and there's a place for every single one that we've met, and there's you, and there's you, and there's you. Ooh.
Here, wrapping up the old potato picking for 2022. Oh, there's a few big ones here. Well, since I was talking to you last, I actually have picked quite a few from our little box along the wall. Quite a few in that. Some very small ones. Ones that if I was picking a niche, we'd leave behind, little marbles like that. But we're keeping them here in Dublin because we don't grow too many of them here anyway. Anyway, this is the soil is actually very warm. A few sunburned potatoes here. This one got really sunburned, so I think that'll be for the birds. And we have loads of little visitors. Christopher the snail and Christopher's brother Bren. Yeah. So the ecosystem is working pretty well. So I just put them back there in with the other plants there. And yeah, well, what can I say? I'm sure we'd probably get this as a good amount, but you'd probably get it in a greengrocer's for 2 or 3 quid. But there's nothing like eating your own. So we are looking forward to having a lovely Irish stew with all of these and a few roasties. We'll do a few roasties as well, maybe with the old Sunday dinner at some stage. And I hope you all have a very good culture night. And sure, there's nothing more important in Irish culture than the old spud. So happy culture night from Spuddy. Straight up, let's give it up for our next act, the one and only Katie McCourt.
We're like this. Remember? Right? This isn't a summer thing. Not for me, anyway. Oh, hell. Why wait until summer's over? Why not just do it right now? Go ahead. No? I'll do it. It's over between us. You hear me, Noah Calhoun? Over. Don't touch me. I hate you. You know that? I hate you. Just leave. Get out. Go. Wait a minute. Noah. We're not really breaking up forever, right? This is just a thing we're having. A difference of opinion. And tomorrow I'll be like nothing ever happened. Right? Because it still was kind of a special night for me.
What can I say? Give it up for Robbie Ford. Welcome back to the Battle of the Axe, Robbie.
But anyway, Robbie Ford is my name. Now you're probably first of all wondering, why does he have a white stick and a guide dog with him? Well, sit down, will you? I'll tell you why, folks, because this is Max, and he's a lovely little fella, as you can see. But for some reason, since this morning, not a sound out of him. So I had to bring the white stick with me in order to get me here, you know. But sit down, relax. But myself and Max here, normally, like, we're good buddies. Like, we've actually travelled the world together. We've actually seen it. No, sorry, he's seen it. I've just heard it and felt it and smelt it, you know. For example, the sound of the waves gently splashing against the rocks, the feeling of the warm sun on my face, warm sand beneath my feet, smells, some good, some bad. Some smells that actually took me to the places where the sun don't shine. That reminds me. So when I was down under, Australia, you dirty bastard, Australia. I got an opportunity to do a skydive. Hands up who's doing a skydive. Don't tell me you put your fucking hand up. But anyway, if you haven't done a skydive, I'd highly recommend it. It's absolutely brilliant. The speed you're going through the air, it's exhilarating, like, you know. Brilliant. Now, scared the fucking shit out of the guide dog, I have to say, like, you know. But you get over it. But one thing I noticed on my travels around the world that other countries aren't as PC, politically correct, as Ireland. Like, why in Ireland are we afraid of using the word black? It's ridiculous. I mean, if you're black, you're black, you're white, you're white. Like Michael Jackson wrote a song about it. And the poor fella died in 2009. I was thinking to myself, Michael Jackson, brown bread? Or would he rather have been white bread? But it doesn't matter because they both come from the same grain. So it doesn't matter. But, you know, if a friend of mine, Tommy, who was black, well, he told me he was. And I'm not going to be all PC and say he's from African descent, because he's not. He's from Tallaght. But remember one night we were in town, we were having a few drinks, like, you know, and usual shite, you know. He was talking about good-looking women, I was talking about women that felt good, smelled good, sounded good. All the usual shite, you know. Now, I didn't have Max with me that night, I just had the stick with me, you know. But we went outside and Tommy flagged down a taxi. So the white stick with me just neatly folded up my hand. He hopped into the front, or sorry, I hopped into the front, and Tommy hopped into the back. Usual taxi driver, alright, boys. Few too many gargles on you tonight, yeah? I said, I've a few on me, mate, but I'm not pissed. I'm actually blind. That's a white stick. I was looking for the handle of the door. Oh, Jesus, I'm so sorry. So sorry. I thought to myself, could be worse. Could be a fucking taxi driver. Down the road anyway, and we were stuck in traffic. And he enthusiastically leaned over and he slapped me on the leg. And he said, but seriously, son, do not get so down about the whole thing, you know? And again, I said, could be worse, could be a taxi driver. Now, Tommy, my black mate, is in the back listening to all this, you know. So I asked myself, yeah, could be worse, could be a taxi driver. Well, I say it to him. So fuck it, I will. So I put my hand into Tommy on the slide and I slapped him on the leg, you know. I turned to the driver, I said, to be honest with you, mate, it could be a hell of a lot worse. Really, son, what do you mean? I said, it could be black. He nearly crashed the car. But, like, he'll get over it, you know. Like, when I first got him, his name was Sid. And he didn't go fucking anywhere. But anyway, Robbie Ford is my name. If you want to find me on Facebook, it's Robbie Ford Comedy Nights. Thanks for listening, and hopefully Max will get to see you all again. Good night and God bless.
Our next act I know a long time. I've met her on workshops all over the city, and she is just so funny and has got a great wit about her. And I'm delighted that she is here tonight.
My name is Ita, and I don't do fast. I've always had a sort of a slow pace about me. If I was in that story about the hare and the tortoise, well, I'd definitely be the tortoise. I get there, but in my own time. But a couple of years ago that changed. After about 40 years at this nice pace I was used to, suddenly I started getting symptoms. Now, what do you do when you get symptoms these days? Well, of course you Google them, don't you? Well, that's what I did. And then you tick them off the list and you diagnose yourself. So I started going down through the list. Waking up at night in a sweat, yeah, definitely. Insomnia, which why else would you be Googling things at 3 o'clock in the morning? Exhaustion, fatigue and all that. And you're probably thinking, oh sure, look at her age. She's probably talking about the menopause. That's exactly what I thought, but I was wrong. Turns out I had a broken thyroid. Well, that's not the clinical definition, but it certainly wasn't working right anymore. All of a sudden, it started pumping out hormones like you wouldn't believe. It started going too fast, and as I said, I don't like going fast. But you know the really strange thing about it? On the inside, everything is going fast, but on the outside you look completely normal. On the outside, I just looked like myself, but on the inside, everything was going fast, including my heart. It was like my heart thought it had gone to some sort of an aerobic class back in the 1990s and it never left. All day long my heart think it's going lunge 2, 3, 4, squat 2, 3, 4, up 2, 3, 4, down 2, 3, 4. It's absolutely exhausting. But luckily there's medication. So I took the medication and after a while everything went back to normal. But I never did any more aerobics after that. If I want a bit of exercise now, well, I like to go out for a walk. But recently, I went out for a walk and I went up to the Phoenix Park and I got a bit of a fright because I was walking around the back of Dublin Zoo, and at the back gate to Dublin Zoo I see this huge big truck. Do you know what was written on the side of that truck? Panda Recycling. That's a bit scary, isn't it? I think that's going too far. I mean, I'm all for saving the planet and all that, but recycling pandas? Now, you're probably thinking, they'd never do that in Dublin Zoo now. Well, the next time you go to Dublin Zoo, ask to see the pandas. And then go to Pets Corner and have a look, because they've loads of lovely little black and white guinea pigs there. But do you know something else? Another kind of exercise that I like is swimming. And I particularly like swimming in the sea. Now, not in the winter, but in the summertime. But one thing I hate about sea swimming is jellyfish. Oh, they are horrible, evil creatures. I mean, I was watching a documentary on them recently, and there were these enormous, giant-sized jellyfish. Now, this was out in the middle of the ocean. Thankfully, it was nowhere near Ireland. But there were millions of them, and the poor fishermen are hauling in their nets and they're bursting with these giant-sized jellyfish. I think they're trying to take over the world. Now, you might think that's a bit crazy, but I'll tell you why I think that. You can't kill them. They've no natural predator. Like, how did that even happen? Was Mother Nature on a day off or something and there was an intern in making these things? If you try and kill these things, they have this really weird self-defense mechanism. Just at the point of death, they shoot out a whole load of sperm and make more. I mean, if that's not taking over the world, I don't know what is. But I was stung by a jellyfish a few years ago, before the pandemic, of course. I was in Ibiza, swimming in the sea, everything great, and all of a sudden I got stung by a jellyfish. And I had a scar on my arm for about 2 years afterwards. And the strange thing about it is, I saw nothing. Now, what's worse than giant, enormous jellyfish trying to take over the world? Invisible, giant, enormous jellyfish trying to take over the world. I think it's terrifying. And I don't think you're concerned about that at all. I don't think you're even thinking about giant-sized, enormous jellyfish taking over the world at all now, are you? No, because you're all too busy thinking, what's a woman our age doing in Ibiza? Well, I'll leave you with that one. Thanks very much.
Thank you. My name is Saoirse. I'm a sit-down comedian. I know, the irony. Yeah, so like I did Kieran's workshop, so I'm still kind of a novice to this still. But when I signed up for it, I was like, oh my God, this is great. I get to do comedy and I get to stand up. You lying bastard. Don't trust him, lads. Don't trust him. Nah, Kieran's great. No, but when people first meet me, you know, they all want to know what happened. So I'm going to tell you what happened to me. So in May 2011, I went on the Viking tour in Dublin, right? And what's so funny about that? But I wasn't really listening to the safety precautions and I slipped and I fell in. And I don't know what tourist that was going on. I think that was like synchronised with me splashing around like this. But none of the fuckers offered to help me. And here I am. I survived. And the reason I tell you this story is because when people first meet me, they all want to know, and I don't want to disappoint, is when actual fact, I'm just a crippled spastic fucking turf! Ew! Yes, they're all going to hell. No, my actual disability is spastic cerebral palsy, so I'm going to get away with this shit. But just to give us a little disclaimer, I might have a spasm or two, which will either look like an homage to Thriller, or I'm giving his jazz hands. So, but you know, years ago, I used to be like really sensitive about my disability, right? Until I watched this movie, and in this movie, the guy's at work and he's on the DOS talking on a chat room. This guy in a wheelchair, and the guy in the wheelchair is complaining about his life. Meh. And he says, "Listen here, creepy boy, I'm on my feet 8 hours a day. What the fuck are you moaning about?" I paused the film. I roll into my stepdad, and he says, "He just said the word cripple." And he's like, "Yeah, well, that's what you were." What? Ma, you told me all the kids had these. I never trusted that woman again. But no, there's serious things that I hate, right? And one of them is you lot on your phones. Lucky for me, I can't text and drive. But especially town, I hate town, okay? Especially like busy times and going through Tesco's, and one of the days I was heading towards the Travelator, right? And nobody would let me on. So I turned to my stepdad and I says, "Will I do it?" He says, "Do what?" I start doing this. And yous all part like the Red Sea. Thank you. But I've tried to find ways of getting past people, right? And I've started dyeing my hair many, many colours, as you can see. But I found the most effective colour is ginger. Because no one wants to go near fucking ginger. Is there any gingers in the house? Don't we actually really love gingers? But we all know they have no souls. I know, you're so great. No. But, no. So where am I trying to talk? No, park impairments, there we are. Park impairments. So recently, like a couple of years ago, my nanny, I lent her my park impairment, right, with my stepdad. She's going shopping. But she felt like really guilty borrowing it. So she fakes a limp. And she limps all the way into the shop. Right? And then on the way out, she limps the way back out, but she forgot which leg, so she swaps legs. And this is what we call a plastic spastic. Okay? Like these fakers over here, you know? Bunch of plastic spastics. Now, it's like my shirt here, Beetlejuice. When you say Beetlejuice, 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 here appears. You say cripple, cripple, cripple. They all fucking appear. So, I'm getting in shape. As you can see, it's not working yet. Because I'm doing the Edinburgh Fringe, so I'm kind of trying to get really strong for Edinburgh. And when I first met my trainer, he had that look in his face of like, "Oh God, what am I going to do with this one?" And in my mind, I'm like, "Will I fake a spasm and fall out of the chair?" I didn't do it. I did the next day. Now he says, "If you don't do these 5 reps, I'm going to roll you in front of traffic." He hasn't done it yet. Emphasis on yet. But now, you know, it's grand. I recently actually, because of all the training I'm doing, I took my very first steps. Thank you very much. Thank you. I now walk like a drunken toddler. Guy over there relates. Thank you. But, you know, I'm getting really in shape now, and, you know, I'm single, by the way. Thank you. I'm just throwing that out there, just letting you know. But my last boyfriend I was with, we tried to spice things up, and he was like, "Saoirse, I want to buy you some vibrating knickers." I'm like, "That's great, honey, but just roll me off a cobblestone type of bar. Save your money." But going out for me is very unusual for me. Especially like when you're heading towards the bus, and one of the times the driver, he let out the ramp, and then all people start walking on the bus, and this lady turns to me, she's like, "Isn't it terrible they don't let you on?" I'm like, "Yes, it is. Now get off the fucking ramp." Oh, but one of the times I was out with my friends, and they're here tonight, so I'm going to talk about them. We got really, really shit-faced. And we're outside and we're rolling around and we're like, "Any help for the cripples? Any help?" And then my able-bodied friend says, "Any help for the fucking cripples? Help for the fucking carer!" Fucking cripples, get the fuck. But for me though, like, meeting men, because I've been single for so long, is really nerve-wracking for me, especially when I see good-looking men. How you, Glenn? I have a tell. My leg starts to twitch like I'm a dog in heat. So by the time the guy attempts to come over to me, my leg is gone and I'm on the floor. By then it takes about 5 men to lift me up, which is grand. I get a bit of a feel, so that's fine. And that's the closest human contact I've got in months. Oh. But I recently, a friend of mine told me a story that I found really, really interesting. It was when disabled people are treated like pets. And I was like, oh my God, my life makes so much sense now. Especially when my mum's like, Saoirse, do you want to go for a walk? Yeah. And then you go up to people and they're like, oh, isn't she gorgeous? Isn't she lovely? Look at her hair. Now, this doesn't bother me, lads, all right? What bothers me is that my mother still hasn't told me I'm a good girl. I'll just let you know that I'm actually doing a bit of circus training at the moment. It's just me lying in a hammock for about 2 hours. But the woman says to me, she's like, Saoirse, I want to get your legs over your head. I'm like, hon, if I could get my legs over my head, I wouldn't be single. Thank you, the great!
It's very complicated, son. Complicated? What?
But Gran could do better, and she's dead.
Oh my God.
Ramsay syndrome.
Cause if you like the way you look that much, oh baby, you should go and love yourself. And if you think that I'm still holding on to something, you should go and love yourself.
Bieber syndrome. Thanks very much to everyone who joined us tonight, and a special thanks to all the acts who performed in the show. Declan Rooney, Lisa Caulfield, Katie McCourt, Robbie Ford, Nita Fitz, Saoirse Smith, and a big thanks to Jonathan Higgins, who created the theme tune for this show, and of course to the one and only Jake Mitchell, who has edited everything together, and I really appreciate that.